Welcome to Tartarian Aster. And this is one of traditional Chinese medicine, TCM's, great 50 fundamental herbs. So it's a powerhouse of an herb. And I don't mean because it's so powerful it's going to knock your feet off or anything like that, but because it's really effective and it's been used for hundreds of years. It first showed up in the pharmacopoeia probably somewhere around 1700 AD, and it was not unlikely that it was around a long time before that, because so much of the tradition was passed on orally. So when things get written down, it isn't always when they were first so-called invented. But the point being, this has been used a long time, and we're going to look at a formula that it commonly shows up, and this is an herb that will show up in a lot of different formulas, so it's a good one for you to know about. And the formula that we're going to kind of just take a peek at is Je So Sen. Forgive my Chinese. And this is a formula in which Tartarian Aster is one of the key ingredients. And the trick with this formula, the reason it's so popular, is because, as so many formulas, for one thing, you get these classic formulas and then they can be tweaked, because you've got the foundation solid, and then you can kind of tweak it towards the person, towards the level of condition that someone has, that sort of thing. So other herbs could be added to it, or maybe one or two, adjustments made. But here's the foundation, and it'll help you both know how to use Tartarian Aster, give you a good example, but show you how it plays with other herbs and how formulas are thought about in traditional Chinese medicine. So this formula is specifically for addressing coughing, especially when there's a lot of phlegm. And phlegm isn't just mucus anymore, runny mucus. This is when it's getting sticky and gunky and really clogging things up. We got wheezing going on, and you're coughing up, heavy white, thick stuff, or heavy green, colored. So that's when it's gotten to phlegm. And the thing about this formula that's very, very cool is that Tartarian Aster is a warming herb, as are some of the other herbs in this formula. But this formula warms without turning to heat. So you're always balancing, looking for that balance point in formulas. If a person is presenting with cold symptoms, white face, chills, maybe chills and fever, but heading towards the cold side of things, and white, thick, gunky mucus, you've got some cold going on, and you want to warm them up, but you don't want to warm them so much that it turns into, now you got heat, pathogenic heat. So this will warm without going to heat, and it will moisten the formula without causing coldness or damp. Too much moisture, you put the fire out and things can start to get cold and they get stuck and you get stagnation, and again, conditions can get worse. So this is a great formula for finding that sweet spot. And it's designed to get rid of phlegm, open up the lungs so a person can breathe, and help regulate that flow of qi so that you're getting things moving. Coughing is considered to be rebellious qi. The breath is coming up and out. Vomiting, rebellious qi. Things are coming up and out when they're supposed to be coming in and down. So this is a formula that helps counteract that, as does the herb itself. So typical ingredients in Je Su San are king herb. This is sort of the lead herb, if you will, is platycodon root. Do visit our website to find out more about some of these herbs. And it's known for expelling phlegm and opening the lungs. So we're getting rid of the phlegm, key aspect of this, and we're opening the lungs up to aid breathing. Schizonopeta. I just love saying that. Schizonopeta. Jingjie. And it releases to the exterior. And this contains this idea of when a cold or flu has just entered the system, it hasn't gone deep yet. It's still on the exterior. So this is going to help push it back out again, help ease coughing, and help soothe what's known as wind cold. Now we come to Tartarian Aster, and Zuwan as it's known. And this is going to help moisten the lungs and calm coughs. Now, moistening lungs is an interesting principle because many people are not aware that that's what an expectorant does. It helps moisten because that's what loosens the phlegm so you can cough it out, clear your throat. And you want that so that you're helping to get that phlegm out of there and again, open up the air passages. So that's kind of a nice trick. It both moistens, but it also is going to calm the coughing so it's not becoming excessive. Another herb to support this is going to be stamona root. And then you have willow. It does the same thing, moisten and calm cough. Moisten lungs, calm cough. Willow leaf, some of you may be familiar with that. It transforms phlegm and helps ease coughing. So again, this idea we're getting rid of phlegm and we're calming coughs. And then you're going to have licorice root, and we're talking gansao, and it's particular to Chinese medicine. It's not the Western variety. Again, visit our website at whiterabbitinstituteofhealing.com to find out more specifics on these. This is probably the most used herb in traditional Chinese medicine, licorice root, gansao, because it's a fantastic harmonizer and it's a detoxer. So it helps when herbs are brought together in a formula, it helps them, it brings out all their best. It helps them play really nicely together and helps keep the edge off any herb that might go too far in one direction. So in this case, we want warming herbs because we're treating somebody that's gotten cold, but we don't want it to turn into heat. We want them to moisten, but we don't want it to turn into coldness or dampness. So licorice will really help keep these herbs in their proper flow. And then they throw in a nice dash of what's known as chen pea, which is your tangerine peel, your orange peel. And that helps regulate the flow of qi. Again, this idea of moving. So you get this wonderful sense in this formula of calming, moistening, moving as a protocol for healing conditions, respiratory conditions that present with really sticky, gunky coughing. And this formula has been used a lot, and as I say, can be adapted to your needs. So there you go. Tartarian Aster, well worth knowing more about because you'll see it in lots of formulas for its ability to treat respiratory conditions, acute and or chronic.